card is filled in, which of these warriors will prove their strength to the world?
Welcome to Versus, a review and comparison between both NBA Live 19 and NBA 2K19. My name is Joshua Envyerz, and today's video is going to be broken down into 5 main categories, talking about the presentation, the customization, the graphics, the gameplay, and the game modes of each game, listing a variety of different pros and cons that each game brings, and ultimately letting you decide which you prefer. 2K, yeah, I've just been asking for your attention for like the past 4 or 5 years now. It's cool that you don't notice me, but maybe one day, well, maybe it'll be next year, so I can give out some free codes to the people that watch my videos. Yeah, it'd be greatly
Guys, John Wall.
Not now, David Aldridge. The presentation. Live has the slick ESPN presentation, and 2K has the generic 2K presentation that is so close to being the TNT crew, but yet so far without Charles Barkley. Both games' menu screens are pretty easy to navigate. The one knock I will take on 2K, however, is that a specific game mode, My League, is absolutely hideous. It's so cluttered on screen, there's so many options, and it's not a good thing. And it sucks because I absolutely love the game mode, and now it makes me really not want to play it. Maybe I just gotta give it more time to grow on me. Both games have great lighting as well in the arenas, and in 2K in particularly, the cutscenes look amazing compared to last year. And although Live doesn't have these said cutscenes, one thing that makes it pop is the vibrant color palette that it has compared to 2K. All the different courts bring life to the game. The customization. NBA Live 19 allows you to create a female player. Gameplay wise, it plays exactly the same as the male counterpart, but it's cool to see WNBA players in the game. Live has a variety of different realistic hairstyles and popular hairstyles that rappers rock. Even the clothes in NBA Live. Usually we always knock them for their stiff body movements, but the apparel and the customization they allow, from the shoes, the arm sleeves, everything looks spot on. 2K definitely doesn't have all that, but hey, at least you could use an old feature that they added back into the game that allows you to grow your hair out, to add patterns in your hair, and it's actually surprisingly really in depth. But in order to do all this in 2K, you need a lot of VC. So far from my experience, I've been getting like 1,000 VC after every game I play, which is a whole lot more compared to last year. I felt like I was getting like 700 to 800. Maybe it depends on the quarters, but this is by far the biggest fault 2K has. It's pay to win. Live, on the other hand, you don't have to pay anything. There's cosmetic packs, but that's about it. You can't just go out and max your guy out to a 99 overall day one just because you could spend $300 on the game and the other person can't. Eventually, I would love to see NBA Live come to PC. I know EA did that with Madden 19 this year, so maybe in the future NBA Live could join the club, because that's one of the main reasons why I switched to playing 2K on PC, for the modding community. It has such an amazing modding community, and it makes the game more enjoyable throughout the later half of the season, when they're adding the new Cyberface rookies that will be in next year's iteration of the game. Updated hairstyles, updated court details, updated scoreboards, etc, etc. Live is definitely missing out in this area. The graphics. Both of these games look absolutely beautiful. From a distance, sometimes the games look like an actual NBA game rather than a video game. One thing I will say, however, like promotional wise, that 2K does better than Live, is that before the game releases, they like to send players their overall ratings, and the overall ratings have an in-game image. Except for NBA Live, they have an image with a bunch of special lighting on it to make it look prettier than it actually is. Most people realize this wasn't taken in the in-game instant replay, but the other half of people that buy the game probably do. Kind of false advertising here on the product, but I guess the ultra detailed screenshots are meant to hype people up. But when they actually play the game, it's obviously a different story. What's more important than the graphics here is the gameplay. You need the game you're playing to be smooth, solid, and responsive to what you do. When you're playing a basketball game, what do you want it to feel like? You're playing a basketball game. Before 2K19, I absolutely hated playing Play Now Online and My Team, because everyone had a super athletic point guard or a forward that could just blow by you and go baseline every single time. Now that rarely happens to me in 2K19 because the defense is much improved. It's one of the more slower 2K games I played, but overall the more rewarding 2K games I've played. The only downside to all of this is that as of right now, the steals are out of control. People just rip you left and right. Last year in 2K18, it was the layups. People were missing open layups, and now this year, it seems like day one, people are just ripping the ball from you. Everyone is Kawhi Leonard. While NBA Live's defense seems a little bit more simple down compared to 2K. All you have to do is hold down the trigger and move in the directional stick where the arrow shows you to stop the defender from blowing by you. But from my instance and examples, I either got blown by all the time or locked the defender down. It wasn't real of a strategy behind it. It sounded a little bit more like luck depending on who the player was. NBA 2K19's defense is a big part in the overall aspect of the gameplay. I feel like I'm no longer phasing through opponents, but the defense isn't everything. The dribble moves in NBA Live feel much smoother, more realistic than 2K. Unfortunately, it seems like NBA Live has the 2K syndrome where a player has the basketball running full sprint down the court, but there's an invisible barrier that blocks the player from going out of bounds. 2K has had this problem for multiple years, and I haven't really noticed it in 2K19 yet, but NBA Live, I feel it on almost every single possession when a player is running down half court, hit the invisible wall where they don't go out of bounds, but they're able to score a basket on you instead. I've seen it happen a lot to me in NBA Live 19, and that's probably for the fact that the defense is way different in Live than it is in 2K, and these players are able to blow by you in Live, unlike 2K19. It's also way easier to score in NBA Live. It feels more of an arcadey basketball game. There's not as good as a post-up game for the bigs in Live compared to 2K. The pump fakes are pretty weird. And although I feel like the gameplay has much improved from previous years, the movement of the players is still a little bit wonky. Something about it just doesn't feel right yet. They said they tried to fix the stiffness, but it still feels kind of stiff. And I don't know if that's because I play 2K and then I play NBA Live and I notice the gameplay gap difference. Obviously 2K isn't perfect either. It's just that I haven't run into anything super frustrating besides the steals, and sometimes if you're playing Hall of Fame CPU, it's pretty hard to blow by them. But as time progresses, I'm sure there's going to be YouTubers that exploit the game, show a broken build or show a broken way to play the game, which will then have people complaining about something. That's kind of the difference between the Live community and the 2K community. The 2K community wants to exploit the game. The Live community wants just to have a good game to play. Last but not least, let's do a quick rundown of the game modes. There's not going to be a huge variety in game modes considering these are basketball games, but we have the 5 main game modes here in My Career. You build a character, you take them to the league. Play Now Online, you just play a quick match against other people online. My Team, where you spend all your hard-earned money on a company that doesn't love you, so you could possibly get a chance to get a pink diamond or LeBron James. My GM / My League, where you build a team and you play against the AI, or you could play an online league against your friends, but whenever I do that, usually we play like 1 or 2 games and then we never touch it again. And My Park, where you take your created character for your My Career and play against online on a blacktop against other people that spent money on their character to be better than you. These are the 5 main game modes of 2K, and these are also sort of the 5 main game modes of NBA Live, besides the whole spending money part on being better than your opponent for Live, because there you could actually earn stuff. Live actually has a few more game modes than 2K. They're little in comparison, but there's the court battles where you set up a defending team to defend your court, and then other players can invade that court and try to beat the players you set to defend it. There's also co-op challenges where you go against AI for a special event against other YouTubers or influencers. I'm doing air quotes. It's pretty corny, but it's cool to see. And obviously, as mentioned, you could play as WNBA teams. With that said, let's take a look back at the rundown of how I graded each game. Here's some of the pros and cons for NBA 2K19 and some of the pros and cons for NBA Live 19. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. All 5 main categories I covered in this video are pretty much neck and neck, but the one standout that 2K has over Live, and has been for a while now, is the gameplay. The gameplay is just so much more fluid in 2K than in Live, and once Live is able to catch up in that department, I think it's finally going to be a turnaround in the series. So thank you for watching the video. Like it up, put a lot of time and hard effort into it, share it around, tweet at the developers, make them see this video. I do this video almost every single year for the past 5 years, and I would love for it to finally pay off sometime. Check out some of these other videos on screen and subscribe for more content like this.